calling Kitty. Here's Kitty.
Hiya. How are we doing, gang? Are we all right? Oh, you are looking gorgeous. Oh, lovely. Oh, just taking a quick sip of my beverage. I tell you what, you can, if you're watching this on YouTube, I've got one of those, it's like it's a cup and it's got a lid and it's got a straw sticking out and nobody knows what's inside. All right. And whilst the world burns out there, you can be sipping your vodka. All right. And nobody would know any different, even if it's 11 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, treasures. All right. Top tip. That's my first top tip. We're rocking and rolling. How are you doing, gang? Welcome to Calling Kitty. It is me, Kitty Cassis. Cassis, like the dark, sweet, viscous, slightly sickly liqueur. Only tolerable in very small doses. Hiya. And it's Calling Kitty. We just give you these little bite-sized crumbs, you know, because you don't really want any more than that. That gets stuck in your gullet, and we don't want that, do we? I'm looking gorgeous today. This is Calling Kitty. It's an audio podcast with a visual element, and you can always click on that link there and go to the YouTube, and you can see what I'm wearing today. And today I've just gone for this slightly blonde with some honey highlights. I just did these in the public toilet at the train station this morning. I left a little bit of a mess behind, I'm not going to lie to you. So the good people at the Rotherham train station there will have their work cut out for them today with the bleach. But I think I've gone for a nice look today. How are we all? What have you been doing? What have you been up to? I've had a busy week this week, as always. Now, I've been diversifying. As you know, I do all sorts of treatments and procedures and services. And I do that here at Kitty HQ, but I also do it mobile. All right. So I can come to you in the Nissan. It's not a problem. I've got all my gear in the back of there. So if you need me to come and do anything for you, get in touch. Now, like, as long as you've got a flat surface and a window that we can crack, I think we're good. All right. So I've been dabbling with dental this week. All right. Bloody hell. I mean, normally it's not an area that I would stray into. All right. Back in 2001, I did a brief stint on a job with Janet Street Porter, and we attempted a few subtle adjustments. It didn't go well. All right. That's how I'll put it this way. She's got a restraining order against me now. That's the way a lot of my anecdotes line up, isn't it? That's how we end up. We normally arrive there that somebody's just, I can't go within 3 feet of them. More recently, I tried to help Katie Price with her dentures. I did my best to salvage some of that terrible work that she had done. Do you remember seeing all the pictures? But it was a lost cause. Honestly, it was. But yet again, I'm here again. And this always stems from all of my work and my services that I do. It stems from just wanting to help people, you know, just help people in the community. So if you've got something going on with your dental work, maybe you've got a filling that's falling out, maybe you need a crown doing or something like that, reach out to those people in the community. All right. Because I'm here again. I'm helping people. One of my neighbors, Sheila, listen, I'm not going to lie. There's no nice way to say it. She's got a mouth like a row of bombed houses. Okay. There's no other way to say it. She needed a root canal on the upper left second molar. Well, she was quoted 1,200 quid from the surgery on Gaveston Avenue. I don't know if you've been down there. It's a bloody rip-off, but you can't get in anywhere at the moment. I bumped into her on the bus and she looked bloody shell-shocked. She did. So I said to her, come back to mine, Sheila. We popped kettle on, and I've got a couple of reclining chairs. Some of them, the hinges have gone on them, but I popped her in one of those down in our Dave's shed, and I just had a crack at it. Okay. It wasn't easy, treasures. I'm pretty sure I've got repetitive strain injury in this arm, But there's nothing that I won't do for me public. There's nothing that I won't do for me community. There's nothing that I won't do for me old ladies that I live near. And it will take us some time to heal, but I've removed two of the teeth. There was just no saving them. And then I've used basically I had a little jewelry making kit, and those utensils are the perfect size and the perfect angle. So I've got into there, and I've helped Sheila out. Now Sheila probably won't be able to talk for the next couple of weeks. All right. So if you do need Sheila for anything, probably best to just come through me, treasures. All right. So let me know if you're helping your community in any way. I've had lots of people get in touch on the YouTube comments. You should always go and have a look at those, deep dive into those, because it is just a cesspit of misogyny and prejudice. But there's no place that I would rather be. Honestly, there isn't. Get in touch. Hiya, it's me, Kitty, on all platforms. That's HIYAITSMEKITTY. It's not the catchiest of jingles, but if I wanted to put some music behind that and make it a little, like a little sting, that's what we call it in the industry, a sting that I can just pop in there. HIYAITSMEKITTY. And I'm on all the platforms, treasure. You should get in touch with me about that. If you've got like an incisor that is just facing the wrong way, I can straighten that out for you. The thing is, once I do diversify and I dabble, that then becomes yet another it becomes another string on my bow. It becomes another knife on the Stanley knife. Do you know what I mean? It becomes another skill to my set. So I am looking now to just get all of the equipment that I need and the training that I need. I'll be doing training. Obviously, it's not the wild, wild west out here, and the thing is, dental work is so expensive. And so I'm thinking that I can undercut. Now, I've not actually invoiced Sheila yet. I need to just see how the healing goes. It may be that I end up owing her money, but we have to start somewhere, and that's the moral of this week. We've got to start somewhere. I've started keeping a gratitude diary. Are we into this, gang? Is that something that we're doing? I don't know if you've seen that on the ether online. It's a gratitude diary. It's just to keep you being grateful for everything. All right. So I am grateful for the sun shining today. I'm grateful for the wind in my hair. I'm grateful for these highlights. I'm grateful that the mirror at the train station wasn't covered in human excrement or any other, which it normally is. Do you know what I mean? That's a gamble that you take. It's a risk that you take each time. And thankfully this morning it were clean. So that's something to be grateful for, isn't it? Deirdre, who works on the bins, she's collected up the recycling and the bins this morning. I'm grateful for her. What are you grateful for? Let me know in the comments or get in touch with me. You can even come on and talk to me about what you're grateful for. I've got a letter here from someone. Let me have a look at this, because that's another way. If you do want to, as you know, Dave keeps ferrets, but he's also diversifying himself and he's keeping pigeons now. So we can get a pigeon carrier. We had Suchandrika on last week, didn't we? And a pigeon went out to her. And with a quill and a parchment, or even just a traditional email, you can get in touch with me. So let's have a look. Dear Kitty, please help me. I've started a new job, which I'm really loving, but my colleagues are just awful. Oh. They've all been here for 20 plus years. They hate anything new and resist the mere suggestion of a change. Without exception, the morning meetings are plagued by halitosis, and one of them brings in the smelliest fish for lunch, heats it in the microwave, and stinks out the office. I've worked from home for the past 3 years, and I'm finding this adjustment really tricky. Any advice would be appreciated. And that's from Debbie in Norfolk. Oh, Debbie. Bloody hell. You don't half paint a picture there. And I'm sure there's a lot of my listeners and viewers now that will be able to relate to this. It's other people, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's working with other people. It's trying to vibe with other people. It's trying to bond with other people, trying to work with other people, and all the baggage that they bring along, the emotional baggage, the aromatic baggage that they bring along. That's a tough one, Debbie. As ever, I've always got more questions. Is this your dream job? If this is a job that you genuinely are loving, and definitely if there's room for promotion and progression in that job, all right, that is something where you could have a bit of a say on what happens, as in you could just take the plug off that microwave. That's what I'm thinking. That's my first thought. Or having a rule about not having anything smelly in the office. Now, listen, it depends what kind of fish it is. I love a good pilchard. Very good for you, the pilchards, the sardines, heating it through and then it lingering. I can see how that is absolutely infuriating and distracting, if anything, isn't it? So if you've got room for promotion, if you think that you can really get your head down and get your feet under the table and start swaying decisions of what happens there, then hang in there. Now, the halitosis is, we could do a whole bloody episode on this, couldn't we? I think you need to be able, especially if you're new there, it sounds like you're younger, maybe. That's the vibe that I'm picking up. You know, if everyone's been there for 20 plus years, you're probably going to be one of the younger members of staff, aren't you? I mean, you could take in some peppermints. You could, I mean, listen, I do a DIY gastric band. I think that I've spoken to you on this podcast about that before, because a lot of the halitosis actually comes from gut rot, especially in the older generation. And you do need to stamp that out at the root. Taking peppermints, taking some chewing gum, taking mouthwash. I mean, you could just passively aggressively pop that mouthwash in the toilet or the bathroom that you all share, the sink area that you all share. That's an idea, isn't it? And obviously you can get a good Glade plug-in these days, Debbie. You could do that. You could maybe, I don't know, this is, I'm thinking right out of the box now, but replace the fishy smell with an even worse smell. Do you know what I mean? You could take in something very pungent and pop that in the microwave. Again, that depends on if you want longevity at this job, Debbie. Do you know what? Keep going, treasure. When I'm giving out advice, I'm not only giving practical advice, but I am picking up on energy levels, and even the way that you wrote this, and it looks like you've done it with a fountain pen, and it does look like you've smudged. It looks like you're left-handed, and that is, I'm also picking up that as well as I'm talking to you. And there's something telling me to stick with this. I can see you being CEO of this organization within 12 months, Debbie. Why not? Do you know what I mean? And then you can start going at it from a policy angle. Do you know what I mean, treasure? Yeah. Stick with it. Keep going. Let me know how you get on. I do love it when people do get back to me and let me know how things have got on with the advice that I've given. You know, it's never perfect. We're all a work in progress. They are just fellow humans after all, you know, these fish eating, bad breath bastards. They are just your fellow human. It's your community, back to community, isn't it? You've got to be able to help and relate to your community, Debbie. All right. If you've been working from home, then you perhaps become a bit stuck in your ways, cock. All right. Not to turn this all back round on you, but it's something worth thinking about, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So get your peppermints, get your chewing gum, get your Listerine mouthwash. Always go for the original. People think that you go for the spearmint. No, it's a synthetic and easily dissolvable aroma. You've got to go for the original, and that gets rid of the bacteria. So do that. Get your Glade plug in, possibly take in a bag of shite that you do put in the microwave. That would then counteract the fishy smell. But most of all, I'd say stick with it. Stick with the job if you love the job, and aim for that promotion. It sounds like if everybody's been there for 20 years and they don't like change, I think you could just go in there with a bulldozer and make everything much more efficient. That's what I see in your future. Thank you for writing in to me, Debbie. That's how easy it is. Get in touch with me with all of your dilemmas, your worries, your queries. Maybe you've got a relationship crisis. Maybe you've got a work problem like Debbie had there. Maybe you're just worried about the state of the world. There's not an awful lot I can do to help you with that. Keep going back to the vodka. That's what I say. Now, I think we've had somebody who has actually left me a little message. I've got a feeling that we have. Let's just see if we can tune in. Let's have a look.
Hello? Is this Kitty that used to sell 2-for-1 packets of Pro Plus down Cheadle Social Club?
Guilty as charged,
I
treasure.
thought you'd go far, cocker.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
it's Steve Scott of Splashmasters and Sons at your service for any painting and decorating needs.
Steve, lovely.
I've got a problem that I'd like to discuss with you. See if you can help me, love. Yeah, it's with
Go
my
on,
neighbours.
treasure.
Always got on well with them. Sort of the earth people. But her bloody mother's come to stay, hasn't she? And she's a right pocket rocket. And to be quite honest with you, I think she's got her eye on my pension. Keeps coming round here with plates of lasagna shite, which plays havoc with my indigestion, going through Gaviscon at a right old rate I am.
Oh, bloody
No,
hell.
I'm used to hot pot and fish and chips. Just like my Val used to make. She passed away 5 years ago.
Oh.
What a cook she was, love of my life. So this piece coming round here with her large breasts and legs up to her armpits and her garlic bread, it will never interest me, Kitty. But how do I let the woman down gently? While I'm on, I can do a good deal on all stairs and landings if I get the ladders back from our Keith. All right, you take care now. Over and out. Keith, where's the ladders?
Oh, now, so that is Steve. And I think if it's the same Steve that I'm thinking of, and it is because he did used to be married to Val, listen, if you do have any painting requirements, domestic, residential, or commercial, he does a great pebble dash, multicolored pebble dash, just like they used to do it. And really, that is artisan work. They don't make them like that anymore. So that was Steve. Thank you for calling in, Steve. So we've got a possible predatory pension stealer, but she sounds like a bit of a glamour puss, Steve. And if I'm not mistaken, and again, everybody chime in, please do get in touch. You do sound slightly turned on by the lasagna, the garlic bread, the big tits, and this sudden attention. You're getting a bit of attention from somebody after maybe being starved of that for a few years, Steve. Okay, so what I would say is you can ring fence your pension. All right. Now this advice I'm going into now, obviously legal and general, and anything to do with kind of wills and insurance, life insurance. That is a top tier. That's a top tier advice that I give. All right. So that's behind a paywall, my gorgeous Steve. All right. I would need to be charging you for that. There's definitely a way to ring fence that. But I think in the meantime, Steve, live a little. All right. Hot pot, all well and good. Like Val used to make, I totally get that. But listen, once you do stray over to the exotic tastings of, layered pasta and mincemeat, sometimes it can open up a whole world. Do you know what I mean? A whole a whole other world that you never even imagined. If you look at the hashtags, Italians do it better. And I'll give you a minute to look that up now, Steve, and maybe bookmark that page. You could be missing out on a whole lot of, if she's making tropical dishes like lasagna, who knows what she might be offering in the bedroom department. All right. Now, I don't know if you've always got on with your neighbors, it might be a conflict of interest. For me, I just say live a little. You only do live once. Make sure that your pacemaker is fitted correctly, because I think you do have a bit of a dodgy ticker if my memory serves me correctly. But you might regret it for the rest of your days. Who knows how long we've all got left on this planet, Steve? I'd say, accept the gift, accept the culinary offerings, and she doesn't necessarily need to know how much you've got in that pension, but we can certainly ring fence that. As I said before, that might be something that I might have to get in touch with you directly about. But also, you can't take it with you, Steve. Do you know what I mean, Treasure? It could be that you have a couple of the best nights of your life, all right? And lasagna and garlic bread is just a foreplay. It could be, and maybe you do have a heart attack in the throes of passion, and it could be the best sort of £45,000 you've ever spent. All right, maybe let her have the pension. I know I've gone completely left field on this. If I remember, I think you've got a couple of grown-up children. One of which is Spendy Wendy, isn't it? That's Spendy Wendy, and she'll be waiting for that inheritance, I would have thought, when you've sold that semi. But listen, don't shoot the messenger. It's just another point of view. That's my disclaimer always. I'm just offering another advice, another bit of another angle on situation. You live a little. Do you know what I mean? Throw off the ties of constraint of doing missionary every Wednesday, and live a little. Get those endorphins flowing. All right. As I said before, he does a great painting and decorating. His team, very tidy work, and you can get in touch with them. What was it? Splashers Paintings and Sons. I'll put the links in the show notes for that. Especially if you're in the Northwest area, they can travel. Keith is very good at giving back those ladders. I know that because he has taken a couple of our Dave step ladders before, but he does always return them. Are they always in one piece? No, not necessarily, but the thought is there. All right. These men are very much what you would say, they've slipped through the neurodiversity diagnosis net. All right. We've gone past that now. Those conversations were not being had in those schools back in 40, 50, 60 years ago, but they've got the hearts of gold, and they do mean the best. And I think you deserve it, Steve. You deserve to live a little, and you deserve to taste the finer pleasures in life. All right, that's my advice to you. It has been lovely to spend this bit of time with you lot, gorgeous out there. Do what you can to take a break from watching the bloody news. Try and touch grass if you can. I don't know if I've covered this before in my earlier podcast. Those of you eagle-eyed beavers out there, I know that Brandy Becks has been basically mainlining calling Kitty. She just put a needle in that vein, and she's just been consuming it all, and that's been great for my algorithm and my figures. So thank you, Brandy Becks. But if you've never listened to this podcast before, I just try and get everybody to escape from the shit show that is the real world, just for a few minutes, just on a little whimsical fantasy with me. Touch grass if you can. Take your sock off, even if you're on the wreck. Yes, there's going to be a bit of dog turd around. You can avoid that. Touch a blade of grass if you can with your bare feet. I swear to God, honestly, I know that the wellness industry are going on all about nature and everything now. I was doing that 50 years ago, Kirk. All right. Me and David Attenborough, we were getting in the jungle and, skin to skin with leaves and foliage. And it really does allow you to just connect with your soul and connect with nature. So if you can, take a few deep breaths for me today. There we go. Remember to like and subscribe and get in touch with me, and we'll be back soon for more Calling Kitty. All right, treasures? Drag.
Like, follow, subscribe, sign your life savings over to Calling Kitty. Available on all the podcast platforms.